Hi there folks, today I'm going to be showing you how to start your weaving on your llama. So pay attention, it has 3 steps. Step 1, after your llama is all cut out, you're going to take, I like to use the drawl on the back of my llama to start with because, well, your drawing's ugly. So I flipped my llama over is the point of that. I have a ruler. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the ruler on the centimeter line on the belly because the belly is smaller. I'm going to use a pencil. Just kidding. I'm going to use a Sharpie. I do recommend you use a pencil so in case the Sharpie bleeds through. And I'm going to put a tick mark wherever there is 1 centimeter. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, I guess mine will be 6 centimeters long. Everybody's gonna be different. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm not even gonna use a ruler for this part. On those 6 tick marks, I'm going to make a straight line up. Straight-ish. Should have used that ruler, huh? No problem. Okay guys, again, this is the back of my llama. So, I have 1 mark for every centimeter, and I went ahead and made a straight line. So the point of this is, the reason why we did this is because with my scissors, I'm going to make a small cut on each of the lines. Baby cut. Baby cuts. Baby cuts. And then I'll do the same thing on the top. So the point is, I have the same amount of tick marks, the same-ish place on the top and the bottom. Can't really tell on the beautiful part, can you? That's what you want. Okay, guys, so this is what else you're gonna need. You are going to need a string to make your loom. And I'll have a piece of tape. And you don't need that much. You might even have to rip it so you can save some more tape. And on the back of my llama, because you want all ugly things to be on the back of your llama and your front of your llama to be beautiful. So what I'm going to do is it doesn't matter if you start at the beginning, which way, but I'm going to tape it. And then what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to hold it too, just to make sure I don't pull it. You have to be careful because you are working with paper. So I'm going to put this and I'm going to shove it into that little tick mark that I cut. Do you see how it's on that little tick mark? It's in there. And I can drag it down to the bottom and put it on the next tick mark. Did I make a tick mark here? Yes, I did. Again, be careful. I made some baby cuts, didn't I? Such baby cuts. Maybe I should make that cut a little bigger. It'll work. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the next tick mark. It doesn't matter if you're looking at the front, to down, to the next tick mark. Down. All right, guys. Tick. Now lock it in with those tick marks. Be careful because you're weaving on paper, so it's kind of fragile. Is this my last tick mark? That's the babiest tick in the world right there. No, it's not my last one. I got another one. Gosh, I don't even see this tick mark. I think I did forget to cut one. I don't think you can even see what I did. Okay. So now I've got my loom almost sorted. Now again, that's what the front of it looks like. And the back of it, they're going to be a little diagonal because you're moving over. All right. I'm going to cut off most of my extra string. And I'll just go ahead and put this in the collage station. There'll be a bucket. And then I need to lock this down. I have just done step 1. I have made my loom. Oh, I got a little extra. Keep it tidy. You've got all art classes you need. Step 2. The first step, before you can even weave, is you need the first string that you want to weave with, the first piece of yarn. So I have a piece that's a little bit like I was doing a bow and arrow. That's about the length, not any longer. And the first thing I'm going to do before I can even weave, I don't even need a needle for this part, is that I'm going to take my llama, or my loom, I am going to thread it through the first one and I'm going to tie it on there. So I've put it under, and then just like you're tying your shoe, I made a loop and I'll whip the little tail around, tighten. I'll make a loop and I'll whip the little tail around and tighten. I can even cut off this little bit. That's step 2. Step 2 is a little shorter than step 1, huh? All right, guys, I'm gonna go and move that down towards the bottom of my loom. And now it's time for step 3, the weaving part. So I already have my llama. I've got my loose end of the string, and I'm going to need a needle. And some of you might be able to just push the needle through the yarn. I think this is really tricky. So don't forget that you could make a hot dog bun. You could lay the yarn in the hot dog bun. Tasty. And that way the sturdiness of the paper will help you shove your yarn through the eye of the needle. All right. And then I like to leave a tail that's about the length of my hand. All right, guys, my needle is threaded. I'm ready to start weaving. So I've already tied it onto the first string, so I'm going to start with the second string. I can start with over or under. That's what weaving is. It's a series of over and under. So these threads work better than the fuzzy threads because you'll be able to see what you're doing better. So I'm going to start going under that piece of yarn, over that piece of yarn, under, over, and under. Now I'm going to very gently pull my yarn all the way through. When you can, pull it down by the eye. That way your yarn won't slide out of the eye of the needle. Oh gosh, I've got to be careful around his leg. Looks like it was going to go around that. All right, don't pull it really tight. It's paper again. All right, guys, so I just started going under, so I'm going to go over, under, over, under, over, under. It's a pattern. And it's going to be opposite. Look at this one. We're going to go, I was over and now I'm under. And you might just have to shove your thread back down. All right, let me do a couple more. I'm going to whip it around here. Under, over, under, over, under. Gently pull through. And then I could go around the last piece of yarn. Under, over, under, over, under. All right, so a couple more things. That's right, there's 2 more things, I know. Okay, let's say, for instance, you're almost out of thread and you want to do a different color. I'm gonna pretend. If you're almost out of thread and you want to add another color, first of all, you probably want to stop with about this much or so thread left because you want to have enough room to tie it. Again, I'm going to put that in my scrap pile that I will save for the little people. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my next piece of yarn. I'm going to tie the 2 together. My favorite way to tie them together is to push them together like this. Make a loop with them together and just whip the tail around. That's probably good enough because I pulled it really tight. I'm going to cut off the little extra bit. Thread my needle again. Need my hot dog. And then I can keep on weaving. It sometimes is hard to push the knots through when you're weaving, but you guys got it. I think you could do it. So it'll automatically change to your next color. Okay, and the last and final thing that I need you to pay attention to is how to end your project. To end your project, I'm pretending that I'm done, but I'm not. What you're going to do is you are going to need to, once again, tie it on to the last piece. I'm going to say that one more time. Don't just cut it off. Tie it like you're tying your shoes. There's different ways to tie. Or if you're towards the top, I'm going to flip it over because I'm not finishing mine. I'll just pretend over here. You could take your yarn, whip it to the bottom, and you can use a 3rd piece of tape and tape it back down here too. So you either have to tie it or tape it, but it's got to be locked in place. And then when you're done, you can glue it onto your masterpiece. All right, everybody. Thank you for being awesome listeners, and happy arting.